So today I'd like to share with you how to apply mindfulness and wisdom in your meditation as well as in your daily life. However, before I start, I just want to open your mind to have better knowledge about meditation. There are two types of meditation. One is called samatha, another one is called vipassana. But what I'd like to talk about is vipassana meditation using mindfulness and wisdom. I think as a meditator, we must understand the object of our observation first. So to practice vipassana meditation or foundations of mindfulness, there are four types of objects. The first one is called contemplation of the body, kaya nupassana satipatthana. Second is Vedanupassana satipatthana, contemplation of your feelings. And these feelings happen all the times as long as you are awake. For example, when your eye sees somebody you like, you love, so you have pleasant feeling. And when your eye sees somebody you don't like, you have unpleasant feeling. And when your eye sees stranger whom you do not like and not dislike, then you have neither pleasant nor unpleasant feelings. Similarly, your ear, when you hear somebody praise you, so much pleasant feeling. When you hear somebody criticize you, you feel so unpleasant, right? And when you hear like ordinary sound, no much feeling. There's neither pleasant nor unpleasant feeling. Similarly, the nose. There are three types of feeling happen at the nose when you smell something. And three types of feeling, the three cannot arise together. Only one will arise at one time. When your tongue tastes something, and when your body touches something, when your mind thinks of something, one of the three feelings will arise. So when this feeling arises in you, do you mindful of it? Yes or no?
Câu hỏi này có hay không?
Mostly no. When no, then we are not practicing meditation. We are not mindful of what Buddha asked us to be mindful of. Okay, so when in this Vedana Nupassana Satipatthana, there are 18 types of feelings. And we miss almost 18 types of feeling to be mindful. So this 18 comes from eye sees something, ear hears something, nose smells something, tongue tastes something, body touches something, mind think of something. So there can be three types of feeling, right? So there are 6 senses, 6 times 3, so there are all 18 types of feeling, either pleasant, unpleasant, nor neither pleasant nor unpleasant. Do you all know Venerable Sariputta? Okay, Venerable Sariputta is famous for his wisdom. So before he became Arahant, one day, he was standing behind the Buddha and using the stand, the name Buddha. Okay? And at that time, Buddha is preaching the Dharma to Venerable Sariputta's nephew. So while listening to what the Buddha taught about Vedana Nupassana Satipatthana, and Buddha said, there are 3 types of feelings, pleasant, unpleasant, and neither pleasant nor unpleasant. And these 3 types of feelings are impermanent. are conditional phenomena. They arise, depend on condition, and they are not a permanent self. And when these feelings are impermanent, so they are not to cling to, and because they are impermanent, suffering and non-self, one should let go of attachment to it. And when Buddha finished explaining such a short teaching, Venerable become Arahant. So Venerable Sariputta become Arahant while listening to Vedana Nupassana Satipatthana. And I repeat what the Buddha said, but no one become Arahant now. This shows that we are far away from Buddha's time. Our wisdom faculty is not sharp as when we live in Buddha's time. So what I want to say is, with feeling, the 8 types of feeling from your 6 sense bases are the object of your observation by way of mindfulness and wisdom. Okay. The 3rd type of objects that you should aware of is different states of the mind, or mental factors, or mental states. We experience the mind very often, right? The mind, angry mind, hatred mind, jealousy mind, sorrowful mind, happy mind, a mind with metta, mind with compassion, mind with faith, and so on. Sometimes that's very good. Sometimes it's good already. Okay. So these different states of the mind are also the object of our observation. And you can easily see impermanent when you observe the states of the mind. Because the mind arises and passes away much faster than the body. So the 3rd object of the mind, the 4th foundation of the mindfulness is Dhamma. Under Satipatthana Sutta, we have 5 types of Dhammas. Number 1 is 5 hindrances. For example, when you come to meditation, you feel sleepy. This one hindrance, you feel doubtful. You have doubt about what the teacher said. This is the 2nd hindrance. The 3rd is very restless. When you want to sit, concentrate on your meditation, you feel so restless, mind running here and there. This is 3rd hindrance. And the 4th hindrance is while sitting in the meditation, you think of delicious food. This is called sensual desire. The 5th is when sitting meditation, you think of the past that caused anger to arise. Or you're angry with your fellow practitioner who makes noise. So when all these 5 hindrances arise in your mind, do you mindful of them? Sometimes. Okay, good. Okay, good. So then the rest of Dhamma, including 5 aggregates, 7 factors of enlightenment, then the 6 sense bases, and 4 noble truths.
Let me repeat that. The first one you say was the 5 hindrances?
The first 5 hindrances, second is 5 aggregates of clinging.
Okay. And then the third one
is 7 factors of enlightenment.
Okay. And the 4th?
4th is 4 noble truths, and the last one 6 sense bases. So these 4 noble truths, 5 aggregates and 6 sense bases and 7 factors of enlightenment are more profound. So I'm not going to explain today, but tomorrow night I will explain to you 5 aggregates together with 4 noble truths. so come back to the four objects. We have to pay attention. There's body, feelings, different states of the mind, and including Dhamma, the five hindrances. Okay, now come to the next, which is very important question. How should we pay attention to this object, or how to meditate upon these four types of object: body, feeling, mind, and dhammas?
I think so one devotee says, she say observe them.
Observe them. Okay. Okay. So, in order to meditate, now we are talking about vipassana. Okay. Let me ask another question first. What is the purpose of practicing vipassana, or we call insight meditation? What is the purpose?
Mục tiêu là gì?
Develop the wisdom.
Okay, why must we develop the wisdom? What is the purpose of develop the wisdom?
Câu trả lời của cô nói rằng là để mục tiêu đó là để phát triển trí tuệ, và sư cô hỏi lại rằng là
what is the purpose?
The wisdom will lead you to liberation.
Okay, yes. The wisdom will lead us to liberation. But before we get liberated, there's one thing which is very important in the middle. Only when you see this, you can be liberated. What are this middle things?
The middle, when you read to the wisdom, if you mean like that.
Purify mind. Purify.
Very good. Your answer all correct, but still correct, but still not go to the end yet.
The end yet.
Yeah, there's one answer, and I think I need to translate. She said to see the three characteristics of life: impermanence, suffering, and non-self.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So what is the purpose of vipassana? I try to make it clear because all of you are meditators, right? So with this clear understanding, so your path will go very smoothly. So all these four types of objects: body, feelings, mind, and dhammas, they are the object of our observation, right? So why should we observe them? In order to discover the true nature of them. So what are the true nature? Anicca, dukkha, anatta. So this is the purpose we practice insight meditation, in order to see things as they really are. Yatha bhuta jnana dasana. Only when you see, whatever object you observe are impermanent, suffering, non-self, then you can purify your mind. And when you purify your mind, you reach liberation. So clear?
Yes. Chúng ta có thấy rõ chưa?
Very good.
Yeah.
You are good, no, I'm good. Okay, now next, how to achieve this goal? First, we need mindfulness. Second, we need mindfulness alone cannot reach Nibbana. Therefore, after applying mindfulness, we need wisdom. Now, what is mindfulness? Sati. What is mindfulness? What is sati? Okay.
They say to be aware.
Okay, so mindfulness means purely aware without reaction. Without reaction is very, very important. For example, the pain. I know I have painful feeling. I sit long time, I feel pain. I also aware, but I hate the pain. This is not mindfulness. And sometimes, for example, we get angry. We also know we get angry, but we still scold people. And this is called non-mindfulness. So mindfulness means purely or simply aware or pure awareness without react to the object you aware of. Without reaction, just silently aware without further reaction to the object. The moment you react, then you lose the mindfulness. Please remember this point. So in this case, mindfulness is like the brake in a car, brake system in a car. So when you drive the car, you see the red light. So at the time, mindfulness is very important. So whatever defilement state in your mind, for example, angry, greed, jealousy, cruelty, arise in your mind, just like the red light. You are seeing the red light already. So at that time when you see the driving car, see the red light, what should you do? Slow down and stop, right? Slow down and stop. So mindfulness has the meaning of slow down and stop the mind. So next time when you drive the car, whenever you slow down and stop, remember, you must practice mindfulness. So what is the purpose of slowing down and stop?
To avoid accident.
Yes, to avoid accident.
Sư cô nói rằng là để tránh tai nạn.
When accident occurs, you get hurt. The other people also get hurt, right? Both sides are hurt. Simply, we do not have mindfulness. Therefore, Buddha said, mindfulness, sati, is a protector of the mind. So when you are angry, you have mindfulness, you slow down and stop. Then you won't scold people, you will not beat people, some people even kill people, right? Such thing will never happen, so long you have mindfulness. Now, suppose anger arises in your mind. Okay, what should you do now?
Stop.
Yeah, good, very good. Please bear it in mind, aware of it, slow down the mind and stop.
Yeah.
If you can learn this point, enough for today. But there's another important point you have to learn, that's wisdom. Okay, so let me now reinforce a little bit how to apply mindfulness. So whatever sensation arises in your body, whether it's tingling, itchiness, pain, hot, you just observe it without reaction. Or when you observe it, you slow your mind. Stop. Stop means without reaction. Okay? Don't misunderstand the stop also. Stop, then don't contemplate the pain. No, not like that. Okay? When the pain arises in you, you observe it silently, slow down the mind, don't get angry. Stop means without reaction to the pain.
Yeah.
So the feeling is also the same. When you have, let's say, very pleasant feeling, when you are eating, taking your food, so pleasant. You don't know how to stop. One more, another one, then until overeating. That is not good. So this very pleasant feeling arises in you, you observe it. Very soon when you go for lunch, please apply what you have learned today. Okay? Observe the mind. When the food touches the tongue, you see there's a pleasant feeling. Sure you will see one. So when you see the pleasant feeling, you observe it, slow down the mind. Stop means don't eat. Doesn't mean don't eat, okay? Don't misunderstand my message. Stop means don't react to the pleasant feeling. Don't react to the greed. Okay. So when sitting, you observe the pain. It's called Kaya Nupassana Satipatthana. Or you observe the sensation that arises in the body. It's called Kaya Nupassana Satipatthana. But when taking the meal, you observe the feeling, different type of feeling. It's called Vedana Nupassana Satipatthana. And when this pleasant feeling arises, if you are not aware, you are not mindful of it, what will happen? Pleasant feeling will become greed, In Paticca-Samuppada, Buddha say, Vedana Paccaya Tanha. Depend on feeling, greed arises. So when you are not aware of feeling, that it triggers the greed. So now, imagine greed has arisen in you. So what should you do at that time?
Slow down.
You done very well. Okay, aware of it and slow down the mind. Stop means don't react to the greed. I think all of you are very receptive. You can grasp the mindfulness very well. Okay, so in your daily life, you can also apply this mindfulness. In your daily life, when you have emotions, arise in you, sorrow, depression, unhappiness, you apply this mindfulness. Observe silently, slow down, and don't react. In Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha first, in Satipatthana Sutta, there are two aspects, two parts. The first part, Buddha asks us to be mindful of your body, mindful of your feelings, mindful of your mind, mindful of your Dhamma, of the Dhammas. After finish, like now you all passed the exam already. You understand the mindfulness already. Now we go to wisdom, the second part. Okay, so the wisdom has the characteristic of penetrating, and remove the darkness of the mind. This darkness of the mind is called avijja, ignorant, moha. So when the mind is dark, not clear, we cannot see things clearly. So what we cannot see the objects through nature, because the mind is dark. At this point, wisdom plays important role to remove the darkness of the mind. So wisdom, when there's wisdom, the mind is very bright. Okay, so after applying mindfulness, sati, then second we have to object, let's say anger, the anger state of the mind has arisen in me, then I aware of it. Anger has arisen in me, I aware of it, I slow down my mind, I don't react to the anger, I don't scold people, I slow down my mind, don't react. After this, then I start to apply wisdom, to contemplate the anger state of the mind as impermanent. Okay, so I'd like to ask you a question. Why should we contemplate or make a mark, impermanent of anger state of the mind? For what reason? I need your answer.
Find a root cause and get rid of it.
Stop reaction.
And impermanence, we remind us all the time in impermanence, it makes us more
We slow down.
wisdom more.
Very good.
Let it go.
I think every experience in our life adds to our ability to react or not to react. Because of that reason, when you actually reacting by saying impermanence, later on you will remember that rise of the anger itself is a stake that you put in, and therefore that builds further towards more wisdom.
Very good. I think I have to deepen my Dhamma Talk. All of you are very sharp. Your answer satisfies me. Okay, let me go deeper. Since you are ready for deep Dhamma, I'm going to talk a little bit more.
Sayalay, can you repeat what he's explain what he said again so I can translate in Vietnamese?
Okay, wait. All your explanations are good, but I want to give my explanation. Okay,
Yes.
to let you see things at different angle. Okay. So when you contemplate impermanent, and a person without contemplate impermanent, let us see the difference. First, we must understand deep in our heart. We have the, we call, Sanya Vipalasa. We have the distorted perception of permanent. We always perceive things, regard things as permanent. It's our habitual way of thinking. So even though we are mindful of the anger, but inner heart, we still perceive that anger is permanent. So when we contemplate or marking, make a mark, this anger state is impermanent. First, there are few purposes. I'm going to explain to you one by one so that you will be convinced. First is because when we contemplate in that way, we are changing our distorted perception of permanent. Secondly, the nature of the object, whether it's body, feelings, or mind, or Dhamma, the nature of all sankhara formations are impermanent. This is what the Buddha said. Buddha for 45 years keep on telling the disciples, the followers, that sabbe sankhara anicca. So the nature of the object is impermanent, but our habitual thinking is permanent. So if you do not contemplate impermanent, you entertain permanent, right? When you entertain permanent and the object is impermanent, and these two things cannot match. So when the object itself is impermanent, and we also see it as impermanent by marking, by contemplating impermanent, and two together click very easily. Then when you contemplate the anger state of the mind as impermanent, soon you see it pass away, gone with the wind. Okay, the third purpose, why should we contemplate impermanent towards the object of our observation, is to teach ourselves to let go of it. Otherwise the mind still cling to it, right? So if you say impermanent, you are teaching yourself, nothing lasts. This object also soon will pass away. Why should I cling to it? So unconsciously or consciously, when you contemplate or marking impermanent, you also trying to let go of it. So, and the fourth benefit, when you contemplate impermanent, it lives, and when you really see it pass away, and it leaves a mark, an imprint in your heart. Yes, real impermanent, gone already. So it leaves a mark in your heart. Then gradually you come very close to the Dhamma, sabbe sankhara anicca. Once you succeed in one time, you've got confidence. And next time you apply the same thing, you see it pass away again. Then another time you see it pass away again. Then your mind understands the Dhamma well already. So next time when somebody abuse you, you hear some abusive word, you aware of it, slow down, don't react. After that, what should you do? Contemplate what? Anicca, yeah. When somebody abuse you, tell something you don't like, irritates you very much. You mindful, observe it, slow down the mind, don't react, then followed by anicca, impermanent. Okay, this is the way, correct way you should do. Okay, so in this way, if you get more familiar with it, and if you see more anicca, impermanent of whatever thing you observe, then you become free. You become free from all attachment. Attachment is the source of suffering. Attachment is the cause of suffering, right? So whatever comes you impermanent, you don't attach to it. When you don't attach, when the mind is free from attachment, you're free from all suffering, all dukkhas.
Yeah.
Okay, so contemplate impermanent is only one way. We can also contemplate whatever object we observe as non-self, not myself, not myself. So sometimes when you contemplate impermanent, you still feel suffering, right? You still feel the effect of the anger, effect of the emotions. Then at that time, you should change from contemplation of anicca or impermanent to not myself, not myself. Try to separate yourself with that emotion. Don't regard that emotion as myself. If you cling very strongly that emotions as myself, then that emotion will not leave you, because you hold it so tightly, myself, myself, belong to me, it will not go away.
Yeah.
When I was in Canada last 2 months, I'm teaching the audience, don't regard mind as self. Don't always think this anger mind is self. Don't take the remorse mind as self. Don't take this sorrowful mind as self. So when I teach to the audience, after that, one audience came to me and told me that, sister, I have remorse in my heart for more than 15 years. I suffer from that remorse. But today, when I heard you told me that mind is not a self, it's not a permanent self, then that remorse suddenly fly away from my heart. I have no more remorse. Then she understands why she had to suffer so much, because she cling to that mind, to cling that remorse as myself, belong to me. Therefore, she suffered for 15 years. Now she understands that remorse is not a self, it's not a permanent self, does not belong to her. Then it simply go away from the heart, and she feels she is relieved and free. I will give you I will summarize, then you can ask, okay? So let me summarize what I shared today, so you can remember. First, we must know there are 4 types of object of observation, not only body. Okay? So what are the 4? Body, feelings, different types of feelings, different states of mind, and the Dhamma. Dhamma, I only talk about five hindrances. Next time we have time, we talk more. Okay? So when these 4 objects arise in the mind, how should you meditate upon them? How? Apply first mindfulness. Mindfulness means observe silently, slowing down the mind, don't react. Okay? Mindfulness alone cannot lead you to liberation. We need another one, which is wisdom, panya. Right? And panya, wisdom, penetrate into true nature of impermanent, suffering, and non-self of the object, whether it's body, feeling, or mind, or Dhamma, right? So, how to apply wisdom? We mark it, or we contemplate it, impermanent. Sometimes you can change, not a self, doesn't belong to me, not a self, anatta, doesn't belong to me. These 2 you interchange, okay? Then you will see the object pass away, or you will see object really doesn't belong to me, separate from you. Then you feel relief. One experience give you lots of confidence, then you will keep on trying until you see more and more experience, more and more. Sabbe sankhara anicca, sabbe sankhara dukkha, sabbe dhamma anatta. Then gradually you reach liberation. So you got the message?
Yes.
Good. Okay, now we open for discussion. We have 15 minutes more. Yes.
Thank you. I wanted to get a kind of a confirmation from you in regarding to the two examples that you gave earlier, one is of course anger, okay, the other one is remorse. Okay, those two examples, when you're talking about all of that, I think generally as a practitioner, I think we're all, having this so-called attachment because of this identity crisis that we have in ourselves.
Correct.
Because of that reason, therefore, what arises in me is me identified. And because of that reason, therefore, I have to bear the burden of it.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
So, for what you have suggested as a practice, okay, what we needed to do is become not just fully aware, but also using the technique impermanence, or not me.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that helps in terms of. But the thing is, do you think that for the most people, because of over their lifetime of growing attachments to various business subjects in their life, because of that reason, therefore they have a habit that for which everything arises within them, belongs to them.
Correct.
The permanent aspect of it is also another thing which you mentioned, is the fact that they treat it as if it's permanent.
Yes, correct.
Even though trying to overcome that particular habit of trying to detach will take time and effort.
Okay, good question. I think you bring up a very sharp question, which I, as a teacher, I also face the problem when the disciple cannot follow me, right? So, but when because I myself practice this method, then so I feel it's so effective. Therefore, I share it with great enthusiasm, right? But after the first few years, my students cannot get it. But not for them. They can get it. I think
very good.
Yeah, they are very good. They can get it. Only after when I went to China, and give just one or two talks, everybody get it. And everybody put it into practice and see the effect and keep on writing to me. Sister, I see my anger before I cannot contemplate impermanence, it has gone already. Previously the anger lasts for so long because I do not know how to contemplate impermanence. But now after few times practicing, the effect is so amazing. So my students keep on writing to me. Then I say, yes, many people will get it too, right? Some may not get it. Those who cannot get it have to listen 10 times. Those who get it one time, they get it. Those who cannot get it, after 10 times, sure they get it one. Buddha preached 45 years. Sabbe Sankara Anicca, 45 years. Some get it, some cannot get it, right? So therefore, this Dhamma is for, intelligent people. For intelligent people who have faith and who believe in it and who want to put it into practice and see the effect. Then, when you see the effect, I don't have to explain more. You already see the effect, right? Yes. And I think another weakness of the practitioner, including myself, is we are forgetful. Sometimes now we already know how to practice, but when anger comes, forget to contemplate impermanence. Right? We are forgetful, forget to contemplate not myself, then carried away by anger, then after suffer enough, no, impermanent. Never mind, slow doesn't matter, right? Important, not do it. Not do it, you completely cannot make progress. But if you are slow in the beginning, it is natural, because just like the gentleman said, we have very deep wrong perception of permanent. We have very deep wrong perception of self, right? So, and these two very strong in us, and we always forget to contemplate impermanent, forget to contemplate non-self. But as long as we can remember, quickly contemplate. Until it becomes your habit, then it becomes your precious.
Second nature.
Second nature, and your precious gift, no one can take away. Right? And in order to not to forget, in order to have mindfulness, to contemplate impermanent, not to forget, we also need effort.
But
Effort very important, yes.
Sorry. Và để chúng ta không có quên niệm thì chúng ta phải có sự tinh tấn.
And lastly, do not forget, practice itself is not an easy thing, right? If practice is an easy thing, all of us have gone to Nibbana, not see each other here.
Hỏi gì nữa không?
No, not the question, but I thought that the meditation is like you make the new habit on yourself and you will improve.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Any other question? We have 6 minutes more. Yes.
So last week I started practicing using the technique teachers.
Yeah, I think you should share with them.
Yeah, and then I got a new
Yes,
experience. So last week that's the first time that I know Sayalay. So during the class, I've been meditating for about 10 years, and my mind, not like some people can just go into concentration. Mine is like wandering all over places. And during the teaching last week, she talked about the mind is not self, the mind not self. So I put that in practice. Instantly, it's still wandering around, thinking, and instantly, it's like somebody tell me that this mind is not yours. It's not I thought about it. It's like someone tell you, say this mind is not yours.
This someone is called insight.
Yeah.
It's not someone, it's insight.
Okay.
Insight just pop up.
I just popped up, yeah. So
Inside
say
pop up.
this mind is not yours, okay? So it's not yourself. So I just see that and I let it go. And since then, I'm much more happier. The mind still wanders, but I don't get kind of angry or agitated by say, oh, why you keep thinking? So that was what happened last week.
Can I interrupt? So you see, he attend only one class, he get it, right? Somebody get it on the spot.
So I've been using the technique to practice this week, and so feeling come up, I say it's not myself. Feeling this come up, happy feeling come up, not myself. This thing come up, not myself. And then one thing is really funny is something come up. Oh, your life will be very boring. So everything is not yourself. Everything is not yourself. Something tell me that okay, I think myself is like since I cling to self for so long, it tell myself that oh, your life will be very boring. So I kind of mark it. This is not myself too, that feeling.
Yeah.
But it's not satisfied. I have doubt. I'm not satisfied with that answer until you thought that, okay, slightly change it, this is not permanent.
Yes.
When you teach that this is not permanent, that doubt went away.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
There's like interchange. Sometimes no self, then who am I? Then you get frightened. Then at that time, don't contemplate non-self anymore. Contemplate impermanent. This thought also impermanent. And as this brother say, is then the life will be very boring. This is only conditional thought, temporary thought only. Don't trust it be permanent. Okay, this thought will change. So therefore, sometimes contemplate not self, not enough. Go back to contemplate impermanent, interchange. Okay? Good. So the last thing I want to share with you is when you reach certain insight knowledges, when you reach, just like one of my students, she reached certain insight knowledges because she's my editor and having edited so many of my books, she now contemplate impermanent. So one day she keep on contemplate impermanent and see everything passing away. Insight knowledge, everything passing away. Then she got frightened. Just like you, everything is non-self, everything passing away. How am I going to live the world? Right?
Yeah.
What I see is passing away. How am I going to live the world? Then she react. Reaction is not correct already. She react to it, say stop, don't pass away. Anatta, how can you say stop one, right? So after that she got very, emotion, don't know how to live the world. That's why she wrote to me. I told her one thing that you should remember in your meditation when you experience the same thing. all this inside knowledge is only temporary. Okay? When you see arising, passing away, only temporary one. After 1 or 2 days, everything back to normal already. Don't be carried away. Life is like that. When you think then life is like that, you already entertain permanent already. Okay?
Yeah.
So defilement is very tricky one. No, one moment you see it with permanent, then you get caught. So please remember this.
Yeah, we are always in transition because of that reason. Therefore, we are struggling in between what we regard to be totally permanent within our regular life.
Yes.
Whereas as we go into meditation and learning,
Reality is different.
doing
Yes.
transition
Correct.
in order to understand the impermanent aspect. But don't forget,
Yeah.
what is the purpose?
Yes,
The purpose is to getting our defilements away from us.
Right.
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 And don't forget that because you think it's no self, therefore you no longer have an identity. No, but those are just techniques. Okay, those are transitional, temporary, and nothing that will get you away. The only purpose there is to try to get you to become what? Happier.
Yes, yes. And also I want to add something to your the non-self, right? If you get frightened with the non-self, then sometimes you contemplate conditional phenomena. This thought is also conditional phenomena as it's temporary. Soon this thought also will change. Then only then you will not get caught. Otherwise you will get caught with all your previous, your own thinking, right? And you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so time's up. Is it enough for today?
Yeah.
Okay, sadhu. We use sadhu instead of clapping. Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Okay, so later when you come back, when you have pain, aware of it, slow down, don't react, and to note pain, impermanent doesn't work. Okay? Because pain will last for a long time. So if you're not impermanent, why not disappear? Then you not myself. When you say not myself, then you can endure pain for a long time. Because pain is not myself, so you can endure. But if you say impermanent, it does not disappear, then you get angry. Okay?
Sayalay, so the first question she has for you is in regard to your own practice. So when you have thoughts arise in your mind, how do you deal with the thoughts? Can you please share some of that experience with us here? And the next two questions relating to...
One after one?
Yeah.
Sorry, one question after.
Okay, sure.
I think for thought, to aware of the thought is usually the moment you aware of the thought, it has already gone. Right? Because when you aware of the thought, it means you have mindfulness. And thought itself is unwholesome. So when you have mindfulness is wholesome, kusala. So when you have wholesome mind, unwholesome mind should subside already. In order to see that the mind, the restless or the thought subside, your mindfulness must be very sharp. If your mindfulness is not sharp, then you are thinking, instead of meditating, you are thinking until maybe 5 minutes later, you say, hey, I'm thinking of, start realize you are thinking. Or to train your mindfulness to be sharp, fast, to take care, oh, mind has gone out, is very important. And this doesn't come within a day, right? It comes through practice. You keep on, the mind goes out, you aware, it stops, come back to the whatever object. For example, rising, falling, or the breath, or whatever object you are observing. So through this practice again and again, then your mindfulness becomes sharper and sharper. So you can tackle whatever thoughts that arise. The moment you look at it, it has gone. So, and a restless mind, and this thought is happen to everyone. And remember, only Arahant has no this wandering thought. So try not to struggle too much or fight with the thought too much. Just know this is my nature, right? Aware of it, let it go and come back. No, let it go, come back. And if you practice in this way, gradually you will understand the thought is also no self. You cannot find thought in the self. Then you at that time understand. It's just a flow. It's just a flow of the consciousness. There's no self inside the thought. Second question.
So the second question she had is relating to her own practice. So while she sits meditation, she said that if you have the ants crawling on her body and making her itchy, should she stop and blow them away, or should she just remain, just observe the sensation and not do anything about it?
That ants is real ant or is the sensation of the body? Can you ask her first?
It's a real end.
The real one? Real. Okay, so I will try in this way. Okay, so when the ant crawl on my body, I will feel how it bites. It bites, then I see how the mind react to it. Is there any anger or not? Any irritation or not? Okay, if there is, then see the mind. Oh, this mind, impermanent conditioner. This morning I didn't teach conditioner, but today I want to add in. So you teach, oh, this irritation mind is conditioner arising phenomena. Because of this bite, this irritation is the effect that arises because of cause. So it's just conditional phenomena, see this mind again and again. Okay? The first option. The second option, if you contemplate in this way, you still feel irritating, then you should send loving kindness, metta. Okay? May this ant be well and happy. Okay? May this ant be well and happy. I experienced this when I was in Malaysia. In the midnight, I wake up and see so many black tiny ants crawling all over my body, not only one. So it's so painful. So then I sit up and send metta to them. May all this black ant be well and happy. After few, I think less than 1 minute or 1 minute, all the ants stop biting me, except two slow recipient of my loving kindness. Still tick tick, but at that time, because my mind having the metta, I no more feel irritated, no more feel irritating.
So the third question she had is also related to her own practice. She said that during her meditation, because it's so quiet, her mind falls into a slight state of sleepiness. So she was asking, how can you recognize this? Because it's not a complete state of being sleepy, but just a slight state of sleepiness. So she asked, how can you recognize this and overcome?
Okay. At that time, what meditation subject? What meditation subject? What you are? What you focus on at that time?
Yeah, she said it's still on her breathing.
Huh? Breathing.
Breathing.
Okay. At this moment, if your mind concentrates on the breathing, and because the breath is very subtle and very quiet, most people will reach the state which half sleep and not sleep, something like that, which is very good state. Very good state. But this state also will easily fall into bhavanga or sleep or bhavanga. So at this moment, you need little bit stronger mindfulness. Increase little bit effort. Increase little bit effort so that your mindfulness is more stable, so that your mind will not lose the object.
Did you say that at this state your mind fall back into the bhavanga?
At this stage, if one is not mindful enough, one easily fall into bhavanga.
Yes.
Or fall into sleepiness.
Yes.
So you must, this is good state, it's very good state, but you need little bit effort. When you have little bit effort, then your mindfulness become more stable, then you will not lose the object, and you will not fall into sleep, and you will not fall into bhavanga.
Dạ, có còn câu hỏi gì không nữa? I guess I can guess the question. So the next question is, what does it mean when you say fall into the bhavanga?
Okay. Fall into bhavanga is, usually this happens to those who have concentration. When you have concentration, first let's say anapanasati, breath. You concentrate on the breath, then mind become more calm and calm, breath become more and more subtle. But suddenly you lose your mindfulness. You forget the breath. And yet it's very peaceful. Very, very peaceful, but you forget anything. You do not remember anything, you just forget anything. But then after maybe few minutes, then the mindfulness come back. Oh, then you say, just now I do not remember anything, but it's so peaceful. This is called falling into bhavanga. So do you have? Yes. Yeah. Yes. So this like falling into bhavanga, many people don't understand. I remember when I first time I came to USA, I think it's 19 years ago. This Maureen Borenbach, she was the one who take care of me, go around all the center in USA. So I come across a Western meditation teacher in Massachusetts. He asked me the same question. He said, the mind peaceful but do not know anything. What is that state? He has been asking so many teachers, but no one can answer him.
Yeah, so the next question is, when you fall into the bhavanga, is it a good state or a not desirable state?
I thought I'm going to explain that you asked already. So falling to bhavanga, we cannot say good or we cannot say not good, right? But not so much meaningful. Not so much meaningful. However, falling bhavanga is very peaceful, right? So then people start to get attached to it. But you imagine, if falling into bhavanga, you do not know anything, so not much meaningful, but it also gives you a sense of peace, which also you like it, which is moha, delusion.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Dạ, câu hỏi kế tiếp.
Yes.
So, if you're in meditation, you're looking at the breath and the thoughts, and you observe and you're mindful of the thoughts, and then it goes away. But if you're not in meditation, you're out in the world, and you have to think.
Yes.
So you're also being mindful. How do you observe it as I'm thinking, and then you start thinking, and then you go back to...
Okay, so when in our daily life, when we are not in a meditation retreat, we need to think, we need to plan. Otherwise, how to live the world, right? So at that time, usually we don't meditate on that type of thinking. We know we are thinking, we need to think, we need to plan in order to, to survive. to survive, to live today, how to spend today, right? At that time, usually we don't note that type of thoughts.
So because I'm told that after a meditation retreat, the instructor said that the instructor told me to be mindful when I go outside. And when you're driving, for example, I could be mindful when I'm driving, but I also have to think, can I turn here, can I turn there?
Yeah, correct.
So,
That's why we don't, at that time we didn't meditate on that thoughts.
okay, so how do you?
You just concentrate on one object. You know, as I said in this morning, in this morning there are 4 types of object. One is bodily, one is feeling, one is mind, one is Dhamma. So when you are driving, you have to concentrate on your steering and your road. This is a concentration. Then when you want to turn, you know you want to turn. So at that time we don't meditate. It's very dangerous to meditate at that time. Okay? Therefore, as a meditator, we call sati sampajanya. You must have clear comprehension of suitability. At that time, not suitable to meditate. Then don't do that. This is called clear comprehension of suitability. So in our daily life, we focus our mind at more grosser object, not a subtle thought, right? So let's say Appamada. You just whatever you do, you can concentrate on my breath, not during driving, okay? Or you can concentrate on rising, falling, or you can concentrate on any movement, like wind element, whatever the hand move. Walk, you just say wind element, wind element, wind element. Now stretching the hand, noting your head, you just aware it's wind element. So we take grosser object to focus the mind, not the subtle one. Because while you are moving, the mind cannot catch the subtle object. Okay?
Yeah, so how does an arahant live?
Live.
Yeah.
Okay. Arahant live, he also contemplate on, he live with 100% mindfulness and clear comprehension. 100%. We maybe only 15%, 20%, you know? 1%. Sotapan maybe 25%. Sakadagami 50%. Anagami 75%. Arahant 100%. So if we are not Arya, sure, less than 25%. Maybe 2%, 3%. Okay? So don't expect perfect. Not possible. You know? Not possible. So Arahant have full mindfulness and clear comprehension. Clear comprehension means he also all the time know anicca, dukkha, anatta. So he is mindful of his walking, he also mindful of anicca, dukkha, anatta at all times.
Yeah. Yes. So the question she has is about mindfulness, and to her, mindfulness is extremely important in her practice. And for her, as a beginner, she finds it is very hard for her to be mindful, especially because the mind is very quick.
Yes.
And almost, I don't know how to use the word, but she's saying
Arabic.
I think she's talking about the galapa, you know, the rising and falling of a galapa. So the mind is super fast. So she's saying that sometimes when she sits during her meditation, the thought would arise, and then she tried to get herself back into meditation, but always having a problem because she can see that her mind consistently does not stay on the object. So how do you have any technique to help beginners like her to improve in her practice?
Okay. So what method you use now?
Yeah, sư cô hỏi rằng vậy là cô đang dùng cái cách nào, phương pháp nào hiện giờ?
Rising, falling, rising, falling, or anapana?
So she just comes back, she tries to pull her mind back to come back to the rising and falling of the abdomen.
How do you feel comfortable with rising and falling? This method, do you feel comfortable?
Yeah, so the question she said throughout the years that she uses the technique, it does not necessarily make her more comfortable or not, but it's more of a habitual thing that she practices. So rising and falling, and that was the first technique she learned, and it has always been the only practice that she has been practicing. So it becomes a habit. And I asked her, so with this habitual practice, do you feel an improvement or not? And she said that if she feels she improved, she would not have posted the question.
So it's the right time to change the technique.
Sư cô nói rằng là mình chắc phải đổi người ta.
That's why Buddha teach so many different methods, not only one method. I also teach many different methods according to the meditator's needs. No? So usually in my retreat, I teach 3 or 4 methods in one retreat, so that the meditator can choose what he feels comfortable. You only will make progress when you choose the technique you feel comfortable. If you are forcing yourself doing something you are not comfortable, it's a suffering meditation. For your case, only for individual case, some people they feel comfortable with rising and falling, then please proceed rising and falling. But some people after many years, still stagnant, not making progress, then sometimes you can try Anapana also. Anapana practiced by the Buddha, and we can breathing in, breathing out, count the breath. Breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 4, count up to 8. Again and again, again and again, again and again. Then gradually restless mind will go away. And the mind become more and more subtle and stay with the breath. Then when your mind becomes concentrated, then you can note other things. Bodily sensation, rising, falling, feelings, or different states of the mind by way of mindfulness and wisdom that I share this morning. In my website, Sayalay Susīlā.net, if you want to learn this Anapana, you can listen, Anapana Sati. You just listen and practice. I explain very clearly on that. Right? But please don't understand, I'm not trying to ask all of you to change method, okay? I just feel that if a yogi has been practicing a method for many years and not see improvement, maybe this method may not suitable for him. This is what I want to say. I'm not pursuing you to change method. Please don't misunderstand my position, okay?
Is your website Sayalay Susīlā.net? Yeah. So cô nói là rising and falling of the abdomen. She said that you mentioned some other methods this morning. However, she came late, so she was wondering if you can summarize what you taught this morning, the 2 techniques, so that she can try to apply them in her practice.
Fortunately, they record my talk. So, to be fair for everybody, after that, can you give them the talk? So you can listen, because today I take 1 hour more than to explain. If now not possible for me to explain clearly within such a short time. So for you to get the full picture, better you listen to this.
Yeah.
Last question, already 5 o'clock.
This is regarding the mindful of the mind, consciousness. it appears to me that, and I don't know if I'm doing it right, that there's one person who's observing as a spectator, and then there's another person who's having all these different minds that's coming in and out at different times. Like, you're irritated by the ants that's biting you, or you're having sleepiness, whatever else. Okay, so it appears to me there's two persons. One, or it looks like as if it was two persons.
Doesn't look like at all.
So I'm practicing it wrong. That's what I'm trying to. In the first place, there's no person. Okay. Right.
It's just that something you are experiencing at this moment. For example, the ant cross, on the body, then you feel irritated. So that is the state you are experiencing now, right? So, and we have the mindfulness. So it just be mindful only at mindfulness of what you are experiencing at this moment. So where got second person? There's no second person at all.
I meant to say it feels like there's two persons, one person who's watching, one person who's experiencing the emotion, the minds, the anger, mind, the irritation, and then there's a sleepiness, and it changes all the time. But there's one person who's watching, or it feels like one person, one mind is watching, and that mind is constant.
That mind is also not constant. That watching mind is also not constant.
Okay.
If you think that watching mind is constant, then it's also permanent self, permanent soul. So we must be mindful that watching mind is not constant.
Okay.
Let her explain first. Then you follow up again the question. Okay.
Yeah.
For example, now let's say now I'm angry. That inside there's one watching mind, as you say. That watching mind is called mindfulness. Okay. So the mindfulness aware of that anger. But sometimes you say this watching mind doesn't know the anger has a reason at all. Doesn't watchful. So at that time, that mindfulness is already also impermanent, right? Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not there. So we cannot say this watching mind is always there. It is also fluctuate. It's also rising, passing away, not consistent. Therefore, as a meditator, sometimes we contemplate our different angle, different state of the mind. Sometimes we also contemplate that watching mind is also impermanent. Both sides. Okay, so lastly we should share merit. Share merit. Today you have accumulated a lot of merit, right? Like Dharma, listening to talk, meditation, Sila, and so on. Let us share merit. I know you have your Vietnamese way of sharing merit. Do you want to lead them?
Yes, sure. Or we can do both in English and Vietnamese. If you can lead us in English.
Lead in Pali.
In Pali? Yeah, sure.
Okay. So then you follow me. Etawata Cha'amehi Sampadang Punya Sampadang Sabbe Deva Sabbe Buddha Sabbe Satta Anumodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya Idang me Punyam Nibbanasa Pacayo Hotu Idang no Punya Bagang Sabba Satanam Dema Sadhu. May all of you be well and happy.
Do you